The first candle of Advent, hope. The essence of hope is His presence. Lights a second candle, peace. We have reached peace in every situation. Lights the fourth candle, joy. In His presence is fullness of joy. Lights the fourth candle of Advent, love. Love has come down to us, the greatest gift of all. All that remains now is the last candle, the Christmas candle. Oh Lord Jesus, let us come to you. Vulnerable Jesus who knows what it is to be one of us. Let us draw near, close to the fire of your love, and let it burn off all the dross, that we might be warmed, our hearts might be warmed by your love, and the heat of it might keep us warm. Merry, Merry Christmas. God is with us. Like Advent, like the child, love comes like the gift of the 10 Commandments, written there with His very finger, a covenant of love. Before Jesus came to Bethlehem, God came to Mount Sinai with those 10 Commandments. They say it was a legal code, those 10 Commandments, but it's more. That it came as an inauguration, but it is more. That it came as, the 10 Commandments came as shalom, the coming of a kingdom, but it is even more than that. It's a whisper of God's love to us, to you. Think of it, how Mary and Joseph were betrothed, but not yet married. And how Jewish weddings required a chuppah, a canopy of covering. And when God came down to Mount Sinai, what did He do over the mountain? He covers it in a canopy of cloud. Jewish weddings required a mikvah, a purifying bath for the bride before the wedding. And what does God do at Mount Sinai when He gives those 10 Commandments? He gives the people time at Mount Sinai to do what? Purify themselves. At Jewish weddings, there's a ketubah, a contract for the loving. And what does God give us? The 10 Commandments for living out of love. The 10 Commandments are more than God saying, here's my law for you. It's God saying, here's my love for you. Here I love you, be mine. Have no other gods before you to woo you away from me, to take my affection away from you. Here's my name for you, to call you my very own. Do not use it in vain. Here, I want time with you, holy time, keep the Sabbath. Here, I love you, bride. Don't be coveting or lying or stealing or cheating on one another, but honoring and loving and living out of that love for me. God gives the 10 Commandments as more than law. He gives them as a commitment of love, true love. He gives the law because He wants there to be love, for us to be enraptured by Him. What the word fear actually means in Hebrew, to be enraptured by Him. And there, at the base of Mount Sinai, 3 times the Israelites, the people of God, say yes to these commandments. We will do this. We do our covenant to Him. But when we don't keep the commandments, when we sin, when we fall short, when we mess things up, when we unintentionally wound others, when we don't love Him and love others like He loves us, God came to be love for us. God, who wooed us with love at Mount Sinai with those 10 Commandments, looked at us when we didn't keep that law of love, and He could not be without us. So He came for us. He came to Bethlehem to be the baby of love and draw us close to Him. Our God, who breathes stars in the dark, He breathes Bethlehem's star and takes on lungs and breathes stable air. We are saved from hopelessness. God, with impotent fists, opens wide His hand to take the iron sharp edge of the nails. Our God, who cradles whole galaxies in the palm of his hand, whom highest heavens can't even contain, folds himself into our skin, uncurls his newborn fingers in the cradle of that barn trough, and saves us from ourselves. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark, wrote the American astronomer Carl Sagan. You can sit in the dark. You can sit out here under the sky and feel the reverberating echo of Carl Sagan's words through our impossible emptiness. He said, in all of our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint of help from anywhere to save us from ourselves. That loneliness, here, as we wait on the cusp of Christmas. If you begin to cross the vastness of the whole Milky Way, that alone would take 1,000 years, 100,000 years, traveling at the blurring speed of light. And this is what Carl Sagan said, one of our wise men, that there is no hint of help for us, no rumor of relief, no sign of saving. Us waiting here in all the cosmic darkness. But there comes a light in the dawn, the light of love. No mere candles wavering in the face of the black, but a dawn to pry back the dark with bright shards, to peel it back and flood us with light. A fire that the people walking in darkness, fire they didn't set, but they saw. A light and a love that the people in the dark couldn't ignite, couldn't inflame, couldn't fabricate, but could only find. A love like Christmas can only be found. The relief of a love like Christmas cannot be bought, cannot be created, cannot be made by hand, lit up, set out, dreamed up. A love like Christmas can thankfully only be found in the cradling trough, in the mire and the stench, in the unexpected, and only in the warming love of Christ. You and I, we are never alone on this pale blue dot in the middle of the universe. Emmanuel, love, God with us, came down, and we are saved from our wounds. The wounds we've intentionally inflicted and unintentionally inflicted, the wounds we've painfully received, the ache we have to go through, saved from the burden that we can't get away from the hurt and disappointment that we live with. Because God is love. And He didn't leave us by ourselves, but came to save us from ourselves, and that's the message of Christmas. It's not that we can make love happen or make light or make gifts or make this world save itself. The message of Christmas is that this world's a mess. We can never save ourselves from ourselves. And we need a Messiah. We need a love from beyond the boundaries of this world. And God meets us right in our mess, right where we are, not with intimidating strength, but with weakness, vulnerability, need. He understands us. He knows what kind of love we need. And on a wintry night with the animals all encircling Him, the baby Jesus was a fragile, cold, naked God who invites us to draw close, behold Him, and be held. As long as you, Jesus, are willing to take the wood of the manger, the wood of the cross, we can rest that no matter what our story has been, what our story is right now, what our story will be, love is always the last word. In every place, in every broken place, every weary place, in every impossible place this Christmas, in a world of hurt this Christmas, love literally came down to interrupt a world of hurt and whisper the relief. The relief that love is always the last word.